Strategic planning of supplier selection criteria in sustainable supply chain for the manufacturing sector of Bangladesh. Bangladesh Institute of Management (BIM), postgraduate diploma in supply chain management (PGDSCM). Name Ujjal Baran Mondol. Roll number 32PD103. Introduction. Background. The manufacturing sector is a pillar of Bangladesh economy driven by industry like ready-made garments, RMG, textile, leather, food, pharmaceutical, etc. The problem: global market required a shift from traditional cost-centric vendor management to holistic, green, strategic supply chain. That the transition. Procuring entity face compound pressure from international buyers and compliance standard to incorporate environmental and social metrics. Core concept: in, integrating the triple bottom line approach, economic, environmental, and social responsibility into purchasing strategies. Objective and purpose. Primary objective: identify strategic sustainable supplier selection criteria tailored to the industrial landscape of Bangladesh. Key tasks: evaluate importance of economic, environmental, and social in procurement decision making, investigating how integrated sustainability factors affects long-term operational performance and supply chain. Identify specific change, structural goal, and compatibility within manufacturing organization. Formulated actionable framework to align corporate purchase policy with global practice. Methodology and data source. Research approach. This study adopt a combined descriptive and analytical research design, utilize both quantitative and quantitative data. Primary data source: collect data through questioning, interview with professional, and field observation. Secondary data source: sourced for academic journal, sourced from academic journal, industry standard, government publications like BBS, BIDA, EPB, and international agency report like World Bank, ILO, and UNIDO. Analytical framework: utilize SWOT analysis, pestle analysis, benchmarking against international regulation, risk assessment model, and relation analysis. Static analysis: internal and industry environment. Value chain impact: sourcing directly impact inbound logistic and operation, which are the most effective by vendor performance. Internal capacity gap: local manufacturers offer a strong cost advantage but lack deep expertise in ESG criteria. Financial trade offer: cheap sourcing causes long-term legal and operational risks. Sustainable model delivered better financial performance over time. Operational bottleneck: we face critical operational bottleneck due to inconsistency supplier quality. Static analysis: external market context. Macro environment, coastal factors, environmental regulation, climate risks, and anti-stick labor law are now the primary drive behind corporate purchasing policy. Customer behavior shift. Global and local customers prefer ethical source, transparent product. Its make sustainable is a USP. Comparative comparative position. Industry leaders are sourcing exclusive market access by actively defending their supplier and deeply integrated their supply chain. Risk evaluation, compliance, quality, and delivery delay make the highest risk for local firms. Findings, current landscape, economic dominance, low cost, high product quality, and lead time remains the foundational benchmark for procurement teams. Regulatory pull, a global client are forcing compliance audit for export oriented industry like RMG and textile. Performance collaboration correlation. The tracking sustainable metrics doesn't just protect the environment, it's protect the company supply chain and build trust. Market pressure. Environmental standard has shifted from corporate goal to a basic requirement for st- for staying in the market. Findings and challenge gaps. Under reliance on ESG, short-term cost pressure, and low awareness companies to ignore green and social standard. Systematic roadblocks. To move forward, we must solve three main issues: poor supplier transparency, missing sustainable data, and low technical skill across our vendor network. Institutional gap. The progress a settled due to poor rules enforcement, rare audit, and outdated paperwork system. Problem polarization. Our biggest problem in picking a supplier base only, pricing supplier base only on the lowest price. This choose directly cuts major breakdown later in the supply chain. Suggestion and recommendation: adopt the TBL model, rewrite our buying policy to balance economic, social, and environmental goals equally. Standardize appraisals, create a standard supplier report card with clear, measurable, sustainable goals, key performance indicator (KPIs). Build supplier capacity, help a small vendor grow through hands-on training and shared technology. Modernize sourcing tool, switching to digital procurement tools to improve data tracking and supply chain visibility. Foster joint alliance, move away from short-term buying to build long-term alliance to protect our business from operational failure. Conclusion: static shift. Select Supplier in Bangladesh is no longer just a daily chore. It is now a major business decision. Value beyond cost. Look beyond short term pricing, focus on sustainable sourcing to protect the business from costly operational failure. The path forward, automated tracking and constant monitoring ensure long term business growth. Thank you.